going to use a little effort to deepen your breath. Feel the chest rising and lowering, the belly rising and lowering. Start to draw your attention to the parts of your bodies touching your props, touching the earth. And feel this invitation from the earth, gravity, to drop in a little deeper, like a pebble falling to the bottom of a pond. Notice the parts of your bodies touched by the air in this room. Opening up to all the spaciousness around you. Opening up to the possibility of feeling completely restored by the end of class, with no attachments or expectations of it. And on your next inhale, start to sweep your arms wide like you're making a snow angel. Your arms reach overhead. Bring your legs together, point through your toes, stretch into equal and opposite directions. On an exhale, sweep your arms back down and begin to bend one knee and the other knee. Push into your feet, tuck the tailbone a little bit, create more space in your low back. And then heel toe your feet wider than your hips and begin to windshield wipe your knees from side to side. If you want to go wider with your position of the feet, feel free. Or more narrow. And then pick a side, either side, with the knees just dropping over to that side. Inhale, lift the knees, other side, let them drop over. Just feel that rotation of the femur bones and the hip sockets. And then inhale, bring your knees up, heel toe your feet until they're hip width distance apart, and then take your hands to your thighs and start to peel your head, shoulders back off of your bolster. Once you get to your knees with your hands, help yourself up. And then inhale, sweep your arms to the sky and drape your torso over your legs like a blanket of snow over the side of a mountain. starting to breathe to the backs of your lungs. So opening your back body to this full breath. And then slowly sitting up, sliding your hands back. Extend your legs. Let's do a little bit of a deeper hamstring stretch here. Paschimottanasana. Inhale, reach to sky. And pretend that your hands are paintbrushes, like you're painting the mountain in front of you, bowing forward, opening up more to the back body. Inhale, start to sit up nice and tall. And then circle the arms around like you're backstroking in a pool. And big inhale, opening the heart, getting some nice mobility through the shoulders, sliding the scapula around the back. One more big circle. And then exhale, place your hands behind you. Bend your knees, a little tabletop pose here. Wiggle your hips around. You can shake the hips vigorously or just little wiggles. And then scoot your hips over to the left. You'll roll yourself over to that right side. Yep. And then sideline or a twist. Sternum on the top, and then you rotate your head either way that feels good for your neck. So first, it's a yin type posture. A pose where we pause for a few minutes and start to visualize the fascia, the connective tissue, the muscle tissue, start to melt into the floor. And if you're new to this practice of holding postures, it is just that, a practice. The mind is busy, let it flow, and just be the loving observer of all the thoughts that come and go. Noticing if there's any space in between the thoughts. Amplifying your focus into the gap. Seconds. Just notice where your body might be holding residual tension. And giving those areas of the body permission to let go on your next exhalation. your hands supporting you, pushing your arms into the earth. As you begin to unwind, coming back to center. And then we'll keep that right knee bent, left leg extends, Janusirsasana pose. Yep. So the right toes are pointing towards the inner knee, sits bones rooted. Inhale, reach up. As your sits bones stay rooted, rotate towards your extended leg and just bow over it. So a few different things you can do here. You can push your right leg down. You can push your right hand into your outer calf and rotate more. Bless you. This is a good posture stretch to open up the low back on the right side. So if you need to bring attention to your low back, perhaps you're touching the low back. A little bit of a shorter hold here, about 60 seconds. Taking one more big inhale and exhale, diving in and slowly coming out as you inhale. We'll sit in cross-legged Sukhasana. So just cross-legged, practicing this seated meditation pose as you close your eyes or find a focal point out in front of you. Visualizing your body like a lotus flower. Roots coming down from the pelvis, growing down into the earth, the dark soil, dark mud. And by doing so, creating a lift from your pelvis up through your crown. Starting to unwind the legs, and then we'll bring the legs into that staggered position. So you're scooting your hips over to the right a little here, staggered here or stacked, and then you can lie on your side like so, or straddle the bolster with your arms, and then sternum on top, rotating the head either way that feels good for your neck. 3 minutes of unwinding, like wringing out a wet towel. So I guess it would be more winding, but thinking of this as wringing out the spine to release. Enjoying the journey of following the breath. Expansive inhale. The grounding exhale. Last 10 to 15 seconds. Notice any part of your mind or body trying to hold on, avoiding letting go. Using your breath as an invitation to soften and let go. And now starting to unwind as you press your arms into the earth. And as you unwind, opening up the knees and extending the right leg, and then the left toes point towards the right knee. Again, sits bones rooted like these two strong concrete pillars. Reach up towards the sky, and then keep them rooted as you rotate towards your extended leg, and then bow over it. Again, lots of options for your hands to encourage some opening. Gently pushing the left leg down, rubbing the low back, reaching towards your toes or pressing towards the outside of your calf to rotate deeper. So 1 minute, encouraging that hamstring opening, piriformis glute opening, low back opening. Good, 10 more seconds. Soften the shoulders, the jaw, the eyes, the tongue. And start to sit up. And come into Sukhasana. Cross now the right leg in front. Pausing if you want to create a mudra with your hands, you can, or just palms open. Just letting this stillness speak to you. Softly blinking the eyes open if they're closed. And we'll roll over the legs and come into child's pose. So you can scoot back and sit your hips on the bolster if your knees don't like a lot of flexion. If your knees don't mind a lot of flexion, you can come into that more flexed position of your knees and hips. And visualizing your back receiving this openness, receiving spaciousness into possibilities. Possibilities to let go, to surrender, to connect with your heart, to find more peace. And allowing your next inhale to inspire you to move to all fours. placing your wrists under your shoulders, knees under hips. If you need to do fists or fingertips with your fingers, with your hands, that's fine. Once you get there to all fours, you're just moving the spine around. So you could do basic cat-cow. You could circle the spine around, laterally flex. You could circle the hips around a little bit. Just giving your back some attention. And then coming all the way to the edge of your blanket, walk your legs back and moving through the neck here. So you can do flexion, extension, or this is, flexion, extension. You can do side to side, you can do circles here. Moving in any direction that feels good. And then taking a little cobra stretch. So inhale, lift up, extending the spine, stretching up, and then slowly coming down. We're extending the right arm over to the mirror, and then you're bending your left knee and just kind of taking that shin to the edge of that bolster. If you want a little more, you can stack the legs and roll more to your side. So opening the front of the shoulder, yep. And I like palm down. You can try different positions. You can have your arm more towards your torso. So close your eyes and just intuitively move around until you find a position you can hold for a good 60 seconds. And begin to unwind. Come back to center, and we'll take the hands a little bit wider. We're coming to fingertips, and you're just kind of wiggling the shoulders around, figure eight, the shoulders are circles. And then give another press into your hands. Inhale, lift as high as feels good for your back. And exhale, other side, extending your left arm to the side. And then that right leg can bend and rotate, or you can pull that bottom knee underneath the top knee. And holding this chest opener for about 60 seconds. So take that left arm towards the pool. This arm, yep. Oh, this way, like right towards him. Yep, you got it. And then over, you got it. Using the stretch and the power of your breath to release some of the energy that we hold as adults. So releasing adulting. The only responsibility here is to just be present with your body and your breath. And begin to unwind, help yourself up. One more shoulder stretch. We'll have the knees under the hips. Walk the hands forward. You can pop up onto your fingertips if you want, and then draw your heart towards the earth. Forearms down. Use your forearms to walk back. Forearms walking yourself back into a seated Virasana pose. So you're on your bolster now. Perfect. Pushing down through the toenails. Inhale, sweep your arms wide and up. And on an exhale, walk your hands back until you feel a stretch. So Supta Virasana, quad stretch, knee mobility. There's a slight hugging in with the adductors right here. And you're just going as far back as feels comfortable. Helping yourself up. I've never done that with a bolster before. I like it. All right, so we're going to do a little IT band stretch, and then we'll flip onto our back. So we're going to start with the right leg extending back, and then you're crossing it to the left. Yep, right leg back, cross to the left, and then look over your left shoulder as you allow your hips to go over to the right. Inhale, straighten out the spine, sweep the horizon with your toes, and take your leg directly to the side. If you're not sure if it's directly to the side, come up and just draw that line from the middle of your hip down through your ankle. And then you can work through some push-ups just to kind of gently open up the adductors, or you can come to your forearms and hold, or just stay upright. And perhaps moving the pelvis anteriorly, posteriorly, just checking in with the inner thighs, adductors, hamstring. And place your hands under your shoulders to come up and set your right knee down. Left leg extends back on an inhalation. Exhale, cross over. Look over your right shoulder. So toes down, and you're trying to lift your heel up and stretch from your outer, well, actually from your pinky toe edge of that left foot, all the way up the side of the leg through the shoulder, the left shoulder. Lateral flex. Inhale, straighten out the spine, sweep the horizon with your toes until you're all the way to the side. If you're not sure if it's in alignment, come up, look and draw that line down through the hip, knee, ankle, and then come on down. You can either come to forearms or stay in that push-up, kind of move in and out of this. Pushing through the pinky toe edge of the foot and moving the pelvis around until you notice the inner thighs start to release, and then perhaps you're holding, or perhaps you're just moving through the pelvis a few more times. All right, walking up to the hands, bending the left knee, walking your knees forward, and dropping over to your hip, your Gonna fix the pull for this next one. So take your bolster out from underneath your blanket and set it in front of you. In front of you is going to be on the left side of your mat, so towards the pool. And then take your blanket and lay it flat, wide-legged seated straddle. So opening the hips towards the pool with the feet nice and wide. And you've got these props for support. So option if you're feeling really tight today, just angling your bolster like so. If you're feeling a little bit more open, then you can have your block on your bolster and kind of hold it in place and place your forehead there. You've got lots of different heights, well, 3 different heights with your block. But you can always get rid of that and then just put your forearms on your bolster, maybe your head can touch the bolster. So this is another pose where we'll hold a little bit longer, 3 minutes. So if you need to come out of it or wiggle around a little bit, feel free. Creating a little bit of muscle energy in your legs. So a little bit of tone through the muscles to support the stretch. A little press with your heels down into the earth. And then try to lengthen out the spine as you dive. And it might take a minute or two before the body starts to open up. Finding some patience for wherever your body's at today. More seconds. See if you can let go of any additional tension and let your body melt into spaciousness, openness, expansiveness. And slowly helping yourself up. So we'll bend the knees here. Do this very unique stretch for the shoulders. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to take your arms, you can remember, tops of the hands to the rib cage, and then taking your elbows to the insides of your knees. Just this could be really tense. So just really, yeah. Just breathe, and if you can't quite get them inside of the knees, there you go. That's okay. But if I go into a pretty intense pose, I close my eyes to really see, do I need more, do I need less? So just tune into your body. Do you need more press with your knees or less? You push your arms into your legs. slowly release. Cross your legs, so space the floor here. Hands on shoulders, and roll your shoulders out, elbow circle. And then with your hands, pull your shoulders back and somewhat down, not like really forceful down, but down as you lift through your crown, and then look over to the right or close your eyes. And you're taking, so you're looking to the right, you're taking your left hand, pulling that left shoulder back, so stretching through the sternocleidomastoid. Maybe you take your head back a little bit, ensuring that that right shoulder is not getting tight, right upper traps. Roll your head down to center and chin to chest. And then head up to neutral. Look to the left. And take your fingertips to the space between your anterior delt and your chest. And then pull that shoulder back. And perhaps letting the head dip back a little bit if that doesn't create tension in your traps on that left side. Let's start to come into a lunge pose. So you'll turn your head towards me again. And we'll take that bolster over to the left. Block is at the far edge of the bolster towards me. Yeah. And stepping your right leg forward. Perfect. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just going to work in through flexion and extension of the knee for now. And then so many ways to do this. You could take your block to your thigh to stop it there. And then you could drop to a forearm. You could put a hand down. You could angle it. You can take this block and use it for your forehead instead. Or you could just, do like your regular old lunge without any props. So this one will go about 10 breaths. Helping yourself up here. And then take your block on top of your bolster at this height and push it down, straight down into it. Extend that right leg and then right hand to hip. Yep. And look over your right shoulder, iliotibial down stretch. Yeah. Looking towards where that mirror ends, all the way to the right. Chest lifted, breathe. Awesome. Bend through that right knee. And then you can kind of just use a little bit of momentum, push into the heel, push into the block, and step back. And other side. All right, so starting with that lunge, so many options. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to find the lunge that feels good in your body and then see if you can put props there to support either the thigh, forearm here, or block for forehead. Any height that works for you. This would be better if we had 2 blocks, one for forehead, one for thigh, but that's okay. 1 or 2 more breaths, working to a edge of the pose, but not like you would in like a vinyasa or hatha type class, just like a soft edge. And then help yourself up. And take your block straight up, so the highest height, and then extend through that left leg. Lift your toes up. Left hand to hip, and then look over your left shoulder. Unwind, bend that left knee and push off of it. And let's move to supine poses. So take your bolster towards me, the foot of your mat. And we'll go through some different, we'll offer different versions of a piriformis stretch. And so this is the easiest one I found. I call it fallen tree pose. Another option is to cross that right leg over the left and just have your left foot on the bolster, or reach through the window and hold here. So just a minute for this posture, but slowing down time by making more space in your mind, allowing the breath to be a tool to facilitate that. Just a few more seconds if you want to give a little hug in, perhaps even lift the head. And then place your feet on the bolster, lift your hips up, and you're just gonna wiggle your hips, wiggle. Take tension out of your hips and your back. And then place your hips back down, and same thing on the other side. So fallen tree pose, or number 4, the foot on the bolster, or reach through the window. 1 minute. Take care of your hips. Last 5 seconds. If you want to hug in, go a little deeper. And then start to unwind, holding onto the knees, circling around on the low back sacrum, releasing, massaging. And then go the other way, circling around the knees, massaging the low back and sacrum. And then tucking into a ball, imprinting your spine on the earth. Give yourself a big hug, tucking in like an Easter egg or a ball. And then shooting out like a star, sending your legs wide, arms wide. If you want the bolster under your knees, you can keep it there. If you don't want it, you can use your feet to move it away from your body. And I have blankets in the back room that didn't use. So if you want to be covered with a blanket, you can raise your hand and let me know. You guys good? Comfortable? Plenty more? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So just spreading wide, and there's eye pillow to your left. If you want to use that, you can put it over your eyes. And just taking this time to fully surrender, letting go of all effort.
few more moments in stillness, centered in your being. Before you begin doing anything. And let the expansiveness of your being invite that more full breath. And on your exhale, allow the body to settle and begin a wiggling of your fingers and your toes. Shimmying the shoulders, shaking the hips a little bit. And taking your time, rolling over to your left side. Make a pillow with your arms, push your bolster away, it's underneath you. Bend your knees and pause in nurturing pose for a few more breaths. Whenever you're ready to leave behind, allow it to go with that last pose, Shavasana, also known as corpse pose. And in this nurturing fetal pose, planting a seed in your heart of what you want to focus on for the remainder of the evening. Keeping your eyes closed, start to press your arms into the earth, coming into a seated position that's comfortable for you. Drawing the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra, bowing the head, honoring the deep wisdom within that guides you into healthy habits, healthy practices, opportunities to restore, to renew, to rejuvenate the mind and body. And so thank you for taking care of yourself this evening, for supporting our spa, and have a beautiful rest of your evening. Namaste.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Hope you don't
Very
have to,
nice.
good. You don't have to drive down the mountain. Do you have to drive down the canyon? You do? Yeah. If you live here though, you're used to it.
I've got really good tires.
Yeah, same. Alrighty, well, just leave everything for me and I'll clean it up, spray and sanitize it all, and we'll be good to go for the next class. If you have any questions or comments, let me know.
I
Otherwise,
love that shoulder stretch. No one ever did
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, those
You
are
never
good.
had that, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I tore like my bicep or something. I don't know. It's been
Yeah, I did it in a class once, and I've never seen any other teacher do that. And I forget to do it because it's just kind of an odd
yeah.
posture. But do you have pain in your
Right.
bicep tendon?
I don't know. It's like here when I sleep on it, it hurts.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I've been just trying to like.
Yeah, you could check with the doctor, see if there's two tendons of the bicep. Sometimes it can get torn. I don't know if
Or
you've done
inflamed.
it.
I was playing like these, like a pickleball sport. And
Yeah, it's usually something like for me, it's been CrossFit, which I stopped doing years ago. But some people like they do it and they're fine, but I think I loaded the weight too early on before it was strong. And
Yeah,
I don't even think it's biceps. I think it's rotator stuff. But
yeah. I don't know.
that's what yoga's for, start to like really feel into like, what do I need? I might need more stabilization, might need more mobility, might need more flexibility. So
Yeah,
it's good now. Like I hardly have problems with it. It's when I start to do like clean and presses and stuff like that where it starts to get inflamed.
yeah.
But,
I had one, I guess it's been about 5 years ago, and it took about 3 years,
Makes sense.
and now it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it can take a minute.
yeah,
And when it was really inflamed, I had this Thai therapist, massage therapist, work her fingers. I didn't know that that's what you did, but she took her fingers into my armpit and worked the attachment points and into those rotators. And it was so painful. I was like, I'll roll out my IT band all day, but it did help release,
Oh,
but it was really uncomfortable. But maybe now it wouldn't be because now my shoulders are better.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You teach here every day? or-
anything we can do to help you before we go?
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, thank you. We have our method. So.
Just sanitizer.
Thank you. You're welcome. We learned a lot from COVID, how to sanitize.
Have a nice evening.
Yeah, you
Thank
as
you so
well.
much.
You're so very welcome.
The snow's amazing.
Isn't it beautiful? Yay!
Yeah.
Sprinter, I love
Did
it.
you get to ski? Are you a skier?
I'm a snowboarder, and I didn't today, but I think maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
It'll probably get better.
Yeah.
It was a lot of spots with real scrapey, from the glazed
Yeah,
frozen snow underneath, but there was still some really good
Spots.
skiing,
yeah.
north facing stuff.
Yeah, I want to get out there. I know that people were here Sunday. I taught Sunday, Monday, and people were like, "Oh, it's so
Oh,
bad."
It's just so frozen, yeah.
And like one of the ladies was like, "I have to leave today. There's snow coming." And I'm like, "I know you're gonna miss a good one." So let's just have those.
Yeah.
It's nice to live here, so we can be like, "We're gonna go up when it's a snow day."
Cherry picky.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, guys.